The day Adanna married Chike, she believed she had secured a life of ease. Chike was a rising businessman in Lagos, determined to build a future for his family. He adored Adanna, showering her with love and everything she desired. In return, he hoped for a partner, someone to build a home with, raise children and create legacy. But Adanna had no interest in that kind of life. She had grown up as the pampered daughter of wealthy parents, where domestic work was handled by housemaids and responsibilities were something others worried about. When she moved into Chike's home, she carried that same mentality with her. At first, Chike excused her behavior, assuming she needed time to adjust. She would wake up late, barely lift a finger around the house, and spend hours scrolling through social media or watching reality TV. Even when he hinted at hiring a help so she could at least oversee the household, she dismissed it. Why should I stress myself? You are the man, and your job is to provide. My job is to enjoy, she would say with a careless smile. Chike tried to reason with her. Adanna, marriage is partnership. We build together. It's not just about spending money. But Adanna wasn't listening. Then came the discussions about children. She scoffed when Chike brought it up a few months after their wedding. Pregnancy will ruin my body. I am not ready for that stress. Chike's heart sank. He had always dreamed of having children, of hearing little feet running around the house, of building a family. But Adanna saw children as inconvenient. Time passed and her attitude didn't change. The house was always in disarray. Meals were ordered or prepared by hired cooks, and she refused to contribute emotionally or physically to the marriage. At first, Chike suffered in silence, but every day the resentment in his heart grew. And one day, he made a decision that would change everything. Chike's frustration grew with each passing day. He worked tirelessly to provide for their home, leaving before sunrise and returning after dark. Each morning, he walked through the front door, hoping for warmth, a meal, or a conversation, a sense of belonging. Instead, he often found Adanna lugging in her silk robe, a glass of wine in her hand, her nails freshly manicured. The house smelled of untouched food, the kind that delivering drivers brought. Dishes sat in the sink, untouched by her hands. The bed remained unmade, the curtains drawn even though it was evening. It was as though time stood still in their home, except for Adanna's ever-changing wardrobe and social media updates. One evening, after a long day at work, Chike walked into the house and found Adanna on the phone, laughing. No, no, I am not stressing myself. Oh. Me cook? My dear, I just ordered from that fancy place in Lake. Chike will eat whatever I give him. After all, he married a wife, not a cook. Chike stood frozen at the doorway, anger simmering beneath his skin. The words cut deep, not just because of their meaning, but because of how carelessly she had spoken them. When she noticed him standing there, she rolled her eyes and ended the call. Ah, you're back, she said, stretching lazily. Food is in the bag on the counter if you're hungry. He clenched his jaw. Adanna, do you even care how I feel? She scoffed. Feel? What now? She waved a dismissive hand. Please, Chike, let's not start this conversation again. Chike exhaled, rubbing his temples. This is not just about cooking. It's about you, Adanna. About us. Do you even see me? Do you even care about this marriage? She sighed dramatically. I don't understand why you're making a fuss. You knew who I was when you married me. I never pretended to be a housewife. Chike stared at her, something breaking inside him. He had ignored the warning signs. Her refusal to adjust, to compromise, to even try. He had convinced himself that love was enough. But love alone could not sustain a marriage. Chike stopped trying. He no longer asked Adanna to cook or to keep the house in order. He ate outside, came back late, and buried himself in work. At first, Adanna didn't care. In fact, she seems relieved. She had more freedom to live as she pleased, spending his money, attending social events, and showing off her lifestyle on Instagram. But then something changed. Chike stopped looking at her the way he used to. His conversations with her became cold, distant. He barely noticed when she dressed up, didn't ask where she was going, didn't argue with her anymore. And then one evening, he made an announcement over dinner. I am taking a second wife. Adanna frozen, the fork slipping from her fingers. What? Chike looked at her calmly. I have tried, Adanna. For years I begged you to meet me halfway. You refused to be a wife in any way that mattered. I will not die in this loneliness. I want children, a home, a partner. If you will not be that, then I will find someone who will. Her breath came in short gaps. Chike, you can't be serious. Chike said, I am. Adanna burst into laughter. A second wife? You want to ruin our marriage over what? Food and children? Chike's voice was steady. There is no marriage to ruin, Adanna. You abandoned this marriage a long time ago. For the first time in years, Adanna felt a chill of fear. And for the first time, she realized she had overplayed her hand. Adanna convinced herself that Chike was bluffing. He was just angry. This was one of his dramatic outbursts. He would cool down and things would go back to normal. She didn't believe for one second that he would actually bring another woman into their home. But weeks passed and Chike remained distant. Then one evening, as she scrolled through Instagram, her heart nearly stopped. Chike had posted a picture, a simple, elegant one of him at a formal event. But it wasn't the picture that shattered her. It was the capture. To a new beginnings, to love that is reciprocated. The comments were full of congratulations. People wished him happiness, good fortune, and then she saw a comment from an unfamiliar account. My love, always and forever. Adanna's blood ran cold. She clicked on the profile, and there she was, a stunning woman, dressed in a fitted Ankara gown, smiling radiantly at the camera, and then she saw the name, Amaka Chike. Her hands trembled as she scrolled through the picture. Amaka was everything she wasn't. Warm, elegant. In one photo, she was seen sitting beside Chike's mother, both of them laughing. In another, she was cooking, a capture beneath reading. A good meal is the way to a man's heart. Adanna's throat tight. This was real. Chike had remarried. She dropped her phone, her chest heaving, a scream built in her throat, a strangled sob. Adanna stormed into Chike's office the next day without an appointment. His secretary barely had time to protest before she barged in. Chike sat behind his desk, looking through documents. He glanced up at her, unbothered. Adanna, you married her? Her voice trembled with disbelief. Chike leaned back in his chair. Yes. She slammed her fist on the table. He exhaled. Adanna, I told you this would happen. I gave you years. I begged you to be a wife, to build something with me. You refused. Her vision blurred. So this is how you repay me after everything. Everything? His voice turned sharp. What everything, Adanna? What did you ever give me except neglect? What love? What companionship? You treated this marriage like a vacation, like I was your sponsor, not your husband. Tears streamed down her face. Chike, I can change. He smiled sadly. It's too late. Adanna felt like she was suffocating. The life she had taken for granted was slipping away, and she had no control. She staggered back, shaking her head. You will regret this, she whispered. Chike's expression was unreadable. I have no regrets. For the first time in years, I am happy. Those words shattered her. She turned and fled from his office. But no matter how fast she ran, she couldn't escape the truth. She had lost him. Months passed. Chike and Amaka's wedding became the talk of Lagos. Their love blossomed, and soon Amaka became pregnant. Photos of her glowing with joy spread across social media, fueling Adanna's torment. Her friends distanced themselves. no longer wanting to be associated with her. Even her parents, who had once spoiled her, had no sympathy. "You did this to yourself," her mother said coldly. Adanna refused to accept it. She convinced herself that Amaka had bewitched Chike, that he would come back to her once he realized his mistake. She waited and waited, but Chike never looked back. One day, she saw him at a restaurant. He was laughing, his hands resting protectively on Amaka's baby bump. It should have been her, but it wasn't. Adanna sat alone, staring at them, her heart drowning in regret. She had thought the world revolved around her, but now she was just a forgotten chapter in Chike's story, and that was a pain she would never escape.